All right, welcome to Fuck Your Capital Management Partners and LLC. That's what I'm calling this YouTube channel. No, look, I don't know where I want this series to go exactly, but this is something people have been asking me to do for the longest time. Was teach them about the stock market or how to trade stocks or talk a little bit more about my experience. I've done a few videos over the past couple of years, briefly going into detail about this other side of my life away from YouTube and gaming and finance, trading stocks, trading securities is a legitimate passion of mine. I've been doing this only for about 3.5 years now. So to start this, I'm gonna keep these videos kind of short. I know people's attention spans aren't too entirely long, so I'm going to try to keep them short, but I wanted to, in this first video, just sort of detail my experience, show you my percentage returns over the time that I've been doing this, and kind of explain some of the learning experiences that I've had, and that's going to be it for episode 1. And depending on, the response and what people think about it, that'll dictate how quickly I upload these. But like I said, trading is something that I'm truly passionate about. Over this 3.5 year time frame, which I realize is not a long time, I have researched, analyzed, actually traded. I mean, for tens of thousands of hours. I mean, 12 to 15 hours every day, maybe for the past 3.5 years, and that's no joke. Like, I have a sickening obsession with finance and the financial markets, and I haven't been that addicted to something since Call of Duty. And the last time I was addicted to something like that, I ended up in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm not saying I'm like an all-star trader or investor. I obviously don't have the experience yet to claim something like that, but it is something I'm truly passionate about. So I wanted to share my passion with you guys here today, and hopefully weed out the people that aren't actually serious about it, and help the people that are. So to begin, first of all, I'm not going to be teaching like the basic terminology of stocks. Think of this this would be like a college course. Imagine I'm a professor. Bitch, this ain't high school. I'm not going to be talking about like support and resistance levels and just really like basic trading finance terminology in this. If you hear something that I say and you don't know what it is, take it upon yourself. Take some initiative, right? If you're truly interested in learning this stuff, it's going to take a lot of time. Like I said, I've spent thousands of hours doing this stuff. So if you hear something that I say, go to Investopedia, go to Google, look up the definition, come back, watch it again in context, and fucking make sense of it, man. And I think, like I said, that'll weed out some of the people that aren't so serious about this. So anyway, all right, my experience in the stock market and financial markets, I started back in 2014. This was right after I stopped playing Call of Duty competitively. My focus was going to be, on YouTube. And, I started out, which now I kind of see as a curse. At first, I thought it was a blessing. My first experience in trading was actually in the 2013, 2014 marijuana penny stock bubble, right? That's when I sort of got invested, and I ended up, returning 1,000% on my money. Was up close to 1,900%, 2,000% at some point during that year, but unfortunately, it was completely luck. It was all luck, and that really gave me some misguided. Just I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, man, and I was so confident that I did, and that really hurt me for a while going forward, because I had to relearn, or really learn for the first time, how to actually trade correctly and how to do this entire thing. And you can see in 2015 the true learning experience began. I lost about 30% of my account in 2015. Last year, 2016, I was right on par with the S&P, returned about 11%, as opposed to, I think the S&P might have been up 12% or 11.5%, something like that. And then this year to date, I'm up closer to 20%. So about a year and a half, almost 2 years of consistent profitability. And along the way, I have learned some pretty valuable lessons, like I said, which we'll go ahead and share. Y'all like the PowerPoint, right? Did a little PowerPoint slide. It might be kind of dark. I got the cat back here and shit. She might be jingling. I'm not sure, but let's move to the next slide. Biggest learning experiences. These are certainly not everything, but just some of the big ones that still stick with me today in my trading. And in 2014, the very first thing I learned a couple of months afterwards, after starting with nothing, putting my life savings into penny stocks, returning almost 2,000%, I learned that bubbles burst. And everyone is a genius until they are not, myself included. During this time, I was taking advice from some questionable people, and you don't know when you're in it that these people are giving out, questionable advice, because everything is going up, and it's going up so big, and you see your account. Can you imagine? Step in my shoes. I was there. Right, really no financial markets experience at all. I had read a couple, maybe I had bought like one stock before. All of a sudden, I put my money in. I'm up 2,000% in like a month. Total portfolio turnover. My entire account was up 2,000%. Like, what's up, Warren Buffett? What the fuck are you gonna keep drinking your Coke? Investing in Wells Fargo, I'm smoking weed, whipping Lambos. Like there's nothing that you could tell me during the time that was going to change my mind about what I knew about what was working, because all I had experienced was that positive affirmation, like things were just working. And a lot of people looked really smart until they didn't anymore. So that was pretty much the biggest lesson of 2014. And it took, the bubble burst maybe in May, June of that year. I kind of started in February, late January, early February. And it really took all of that year for me to just completely get out of penny stocks, right? Because after it burst, you keep thinking it's coming back. And you sit there and bleed out so much money. And like I said, my account was off like 50% from the highs, because I kept thinking that the stocks were going to come back. And even to this day, they still haven't, 3.5-4 years later. So a lot of scams going on back then, and it's it was a true learning experience. But I'm thankful in the fact that sort of beginning is what really kick-started my motivation for learning how to do this for real, because I knew that if I wanted to continue doing stocks, that I had to actually learn how to trade. So that's what I attempted to do in 2015. Now, 2015, if you can remember back to the last slide, I lost about 30% of my account. And that's after being down, intra-year, 50% from 2014. So I had been losing for a while. And 2015 was when everybody, is always tweeting me thinking, Big T's the stock market god. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a genius. He does this shit. And it's like, nah. And they were wanting me to, teach people how to trade at this time. And I'm like, dude, I'm still learning myself. I got a long way to go. And I still do today. But I feel much more comfortable trying to, explain what's going on today. So biggest thing I learned in 2015, knives hurt. So one common theme adage you'll hear on Wall Street or in finance is don't catch a falling knife. This is when a certain sector or the entire market and industry crashes, basically. And in 2015, that was the oil market. So the price of oil had dropped from maybe it was around $100 a barrel all the way down to like $20 or $30. It legitimately crashed, and so did a lot of the stocks along with it. And there were many times that I was trying to catch the bottom in these stocks, and my entire account was in one sector that was crashing for the entire year. I was too early. So on a lot of these, if I'm thinking back to it now, had I invested, and been diversified at this time, I would be up in these trades now. But I, had no idea about risk management or, just taking a look at how much of my total portfolio was dedicated to one sector. And because of that, I just sat there and bled and bled and bled the entire year while these stocks were falling and falling and falling. I finally got stopped out at the bottom. And, a lot of trades that I put on, like I said, would have been profitable had I just been a little more patient, had I not, had not only all of my account in these stocks, but also on margin. I was borrowing the bank's money to buy more and just losing and losing and losing. So it was a very tough lesson to learn. My mom still gives me shit because I'll like send her stuff to do taxes back then, and she'd be like, "You really lost this much money in stocks?" Like to this day, she still gives me shit about it. But it was a very valuable lesson, one that I haven't had to learn twice. I paid my tuition, my dues that year, learning that being early is the same thing as being wrong. It doesn't matter if you have the right idea if you're too early to the idea. So secondly was micromanaging kills. So also during this time, I was trying to be a crackhead NASDAQ motherfucking cowboy day trader, dude. I was in and out of stocks within 30 seconds sometimes, trying to scalp stocks. And what I hadn't realized is that things that worked, the markets are always evolving, right? And things that used to work 20, 30 years ago, they don't work anymore. And specifically scalping stocks, day trading now, in my experience, doesn't work as well, and it is much more stressful and much tougher because of the amount of algorithmic trading that's in the market today. High frequency traders, quants. When you're trading on this time frame, 30 seconds, a minute, intraday, you're trading against computer algorithms. You're not trading against other real people. And the idea that you are going to just come in and compete with these quant funds and high frequency trading firms is just it's not a good idea, man. It's really not. So that kind of taught me the lesson over the course of 2015. This took a while, that day trading was not for me, and more specifically day trading these triple leveraged ETFs. I have traded thousands of stocks. Like I said, I've put on thousands of trades. And a lot of my losses, I'd say a majority of my losses, are from triple leveraged ETFs. Now, these aren't stocks, right? But these are funds that you can buy that track, the price of an underlying commodity or stock or sector or whatever, but then give you leverage, right? So what were some of the popular ones that I would try to trade? It was like the energy sector. Even this year, so the energy sector ETF is XLE, and the triple leveraged ETF is like ERX and ERY. So if the XLE is up or down 1%, ERX would be up or down 3%, right? And when the XLE is up or down 4 or 5%, you can imagine like how crazy this gets. These things move insanely. There's a lot of opportunity in these, but in my experience, it is best to just completely stay away from them. You'll hear a lot of people, if you go to like Wall Street Bets on Reddit or something, everybody's trying to play JDST or JNU. Dude, I've traded them all. I have made and lost money in all of them. UWTI, DWTI, ERX, ERY, JNUG, JDST, or what the fuck did I say? UGAZ, what else? SPXL, SPXU, TZA, TNA. I've done it all. And I have learned they are the devil's spawn. Stay away from them. They are not cool. And you don't need that much leverage to make exponential returns and just beat the market. Because that's ultimately what you're trying to do. You're trying to beat the S&P. If you can't beat the S&P, then why are you even trading stocks? You know what I mean? You could just throw your money in the SPY, get a low-cost index fund, and outperform 90-95% of active managers, right? Because most people fail. Not only most professional active managers, I'd say it's closer to like 99% of retail traders. Just know that the financial markets are not set up for you to succeed, right? Everyone is against you, and there is some good material on YouTube that sort of goes into detail about the the business models of the brokerages and all of these people that are out to get you. And just think, like even here in Chicago, I can take you downtown especially in New York, and I can show you buildings full of people. They all have decades of experience in financial markets. They got MBAs, they have trading experience, and they are all working around the clock just trying to beat the S&P. And the crazy part is a lot of the times they can't do it. They fail. So just know what you're getting into whenever you do this, because if you follow the strategies of most people, of the 90, the 95%, you're going to lose like the 90 or 95%. So be very careful about who you take advice from. Be careful about people trying to sell you things. I thought about like making this shit into a DVD and selling it, and then I was like, no, fuck it. I'll just do it for free. I don't care. So what was the next thing I learned? Swing trading is less stressful, more of an edge. Know when you're wrong. So right, when you're day trading, it's very stressful. Intraday trading against quants, HFT, odds are heavily stacked against you intraday. I wouldn't do it. I think some people maybe find success. They are very far in between. You know what the fuck not many people do it, is what I'm trying to say. I think you can find more of an edge. Swing trading, so looking on a time frame. I mean, these days when I buy a stock, I'm looking at weekly, monthly charts. We'll get more into, my analysis, technical versus fundamental later. I think swing trading is less stressful, and I'll get into that, like I said, at a later date. And know when you're wrong, right? So know why you get into a trade whenever you put it on, and know when that thesis or idea is wrong. When it is, get the fuck out, or you could be wrong for a long time. 2016, biggest learning experience. Having a second income helps. Have an edge and stick to it. So when all you're doing is trading stocks, you start to press, because that's the only way you're making money, and you start to attach yourself too emotionally to money. And trading is probabilistic, right? And you can't let the emotional aspect of making and losing money interfere with your trading ideas and decisions, because that's ultimately going to be your downfall. So back when I started doing YouTube like full time back in the fall of last year, that's when my trading really took off, because I was spending less time staring at charts intraday. I stopped day trading, and I also had a second income from YouTube, so I was less stressed about the money that I had to make from trading stocks. So I can't tell you, that helped me exponentially, those two things, switching from a day trading to swing trading strategy and having a second income. So I stopped stressing about needing the money. And then 2017, like I said, is sort of the culmination of all these ideas and my own sort of edge that I bring to the market. Like I said, we'll get into that next time. And the thesis of this year is fuck you, pay me. Like, I'm here. I'm up 20%, within 5 or 6 months. Granted, the market has been much easier. And we'll talk about that too later, why it's easier. And I paid my dues, but it took years, like I said. So hopefully you can learn from some of these mistakes, if you are serious about getting into the markets. But I used to think, so when I get into like a new fucking hobby or whatever, I look at the best of the best, right? I want to know who is the best, and then learn from those people, learn from their mistakes, so that I don't have to learn them myself. And to a certain extent, that makes sense, but you really don't learn those principles until it happens to you. Like, I had heard all of these things. Like in 2015, I knew not to catch a falling knife, not to be early, but I fucking did it anyway. I knew to diversify. I knew not to, risk more than however fucking much of my portfolio. It didn't matter, right? I know it now because I lost the money. So you're gonna experience a lot of losses regardless of how much time you put in researching and analyzing. And eventually, I think you can get to that fuck you, pay me stage. But that is gonna do it for episode 1 of this new series. I don't know what I'm gonna call this. How to trade or something like that. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short. And we'll see what I want to cover next time. Maybe we'll actually get into the differences between like fundamental and technical analysis, which I choose to trade on, why I choose to trade on it, and then we'll go from there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode here, the little slideshow, and we'll be back next time. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Leave a like on the video, and I will see you all soon. The pussy left again, man. I can't believe it. That cat hates me. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.